So one thing that a lot of people probably on this platform don't know about me is that I am a drummer. Now, I'm not like a professional drummer or anything like that, but I drum, and I grew up drumming for a part of my childhood in my local church at that time, and even now I drum at my current church a little bit, kind of as like a reserve drummer. Matter of fact, I drummed today, and like I say, I've been doing that for a long time, and you know, I realize that there are, and please, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying when I say this, but I realize that there are some people who probably would see drumming as a very hard thing. You know, like they say the expression having two left feet and stuff like that. Some people might find it hard to drum, and I don't necessarily. But again, I'm not saying that like to brag. I'm just saying I'm kind of making a point with this whole video. Now, our main drummer, well, before, like our main drummer, shout out to Quentin, is an excellent drummer. And he has specific skills that he's really good at in drumming that I'm a baby in. Specifically, and if you know how drum kits are, you have a hi-hat, you have cymbals, you have a snare drum, you have tom drums, you have a kick drum. And so he's he's excellent overall on the kit, but he's a beast on the tom drums. And that stuff is very hard for me. You know, I've started to learn a bit now, but it's still pretty intimidating for me, and I find myself getting scared whenever I had to play those kind of those songs that are heavy on toms, tom drums. Again, I'm making a point. This is a health and fitness channel, but I promise I'm making a point. But he finds that stuff easy, at least based on the way I see. Whereas I find it pretty difficult. It's getting easier, but I find it kind of difficult right now. Now, let's go into the health and fitness world. A lot of people may look at me, certified personal trainer, you know, one who's run 5Ks, you know, one who can do, 50 push-ups, 20, over 20 chin-ups, all these different kind of things that I do to stay in shape and to get even more fit. Some people may find those things hard. Now, the thing is, one thing that you may not necessarily see with me is all of my back work, like the stuff I do with when nobody's looking. That helps me to be able to do all of these things. You're talking about years, over a decade of relatively consistent exercise. I've had a couple of pauses, a couple of lulls in there, but you don't necessarily see the back scene. But then also, I understand that me having a father who would take me and my brothers from time to time to go exercise, having a mom who bought health and fitness related literature, so to speak, self-help fitness books, health books and stuff like that. These things I grew up with helped to shape my mind as well, and undoubtedly were an advantage for me. However, this is the point I want to make with all this. You might be asking, Sean, what in the world are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, the same thing that you may find easy, somebody else may find hard. The same thing that you may find hard, someone else may find easy. And so what that tells me is this. It tells me that whatever it is you are trying to accomplish is possible, because somebody else finds it easy. Now, regardless of them, they may have they may have reasons for stuff being easy, like maybe the way that they grew up and they had a certain kind of environment, exposure to a person or a resource. All that could have been true, but the point still remains. that they had to like learn that stuff some kind of way, and they were in an environment that enabled them to kind of like learn the thing or get the skill or whatever. So like we all live in the same world. Why can't you, even though it's later for you, why can't you find your own way and to learning the thing or accomplishing the goal? Again, I'm trying to really make this very specifically about health and fitness. I just need to kind of branch out so you can kind of see the principle, if you will. Like whatever it is, I often go to the whole weight loss thing because a lot of people are seeking to lose weight, sometimes a pretty substantial amount of weight, and keep it off. And so what I'm telling you is there may be somebody who it seems like they lose weight quickly. Like I say, you may not necessarily know what their backstory is, but you see them having lost weight or whatever. It's like, oh, well, they had this, they had that. But the main thing you need to extract from that, that I hope you extract from that, is that it is possible. It's doable. It's doable. And so this is what I think we need to ask ourselves. I think that we need to ask ourselves, okay, what can I learn from this person from whom it seems it's easy for them to do stuff? Because a lot of times what happens is when we see somebody else having accomplished what we want to accomplish, a lot of times we assume it's easier for them, and then we begin to make excuses. But really it's indicating that it's possible. So I think what we need to do is, and I'm talking to myself here, ask ourselves, what can I actually learn from this person that'll make, for example, my weight loss goal, that'll get me closer? Because it's not a matter of possibility. Like I refer to the Bible scripture where Jesus said, all things are possible to him who believes. He literally said, if you believe it's possible, then it is, period. So if you believe it's possible for you. So now it's just a matter of moving in that direction. You see what I'm saying? It's a matter of moving in that direction now. So what can I learn from this person to move in the direction of that thing that I believe is possible, that weight loss goal? Even if it's like 50, 75, 100 pounds, even if it's something like that, or getting off of, some medications or whatever that you've been on for a while that you want to get off of, like for, type 2 diabetes or something like that. What is it that I can glean that'll help me to move in that direction? Because it's possible, and I even have this person as proof. And so, like even with me, when I had my goal to do better in calisthenics, one of the things about me that I could make an excuse about is the fact that people who are taller with longer limbs tend to have, because you have, and I learned the engineering behind this when I was in engineering school, but like, when you have longer arms, it tends to be a little harder to kind of do certain kind of moves. There's physics and stuff behind that. But, having these longer levers, it's like you have to, it just makes it harder instead of going into all the science that I can't even remember anyway. It makes it harder to do certain moves and things like that. But it doesn't mean that the moves are impossible. So like even for example, with chin-ups, I gotta come further down, versus somebody who has shorter arms than me, so what? Or like even with me wanting to build muscle over all these years, and I've gained muscle, but I'm big, I'm taller and longer, so it's like it just takes a while to notice it on me. But I could make that an excuse, or I could just kind of like take some wisdom from others and just do what works for me. But if I don't believe it's possible, if I just kind of get myself caught up in making excuses, then I guarantee that I'm not going to reach the goal. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that to say, whatever you feel, there are things that you find easy that other people like me will find hard. Even stretching. This is something else that is kind of difficult for me sometimes because I'm kind of longer. But I know that stretching has many benefits from injury prevention to possibly lowering blood pressure, reducing just tension and stuff like that. So I'm still doing it. Even if my road is a little longer, which, is proven to be. I've made some progress, but still not really satisfied with it. But it is what it is. I'm not getting off of the journey because I believe this is good for me. But my point is, there are things you might find easy that I find hard. There are things that you might find hard that I might find easy. But that means if I find something easy that you find difficult, just understand it's possible. I'm showing you that it's possible. And if you can just grab onto that and use it as like an anchor, like a hope anchor, and use that hope to kind of like essentially convert it to faith to pursue whatever your health goal is. I don't care how much weight you have to lose. I don't care how much weight you want to gain. Like if you're skinny and you want to gain muscle, how long you've been on blood pressure medication, whatever it is, just showing you it's possible. Okay, whatever it is. If this spoke to you in any way, I invite you to post this in the comments because this is something that just kind of came to my mind as I was coming down the stretch. I was like, you know what? Yeah, man, we gotta understand this thing. Just being able to believe and see and understand, like when we see people doing the stuff we want to do, that it's proof for us. You know what I mean? Let me know this spoke to you, y'all. I'd appreciate that if you just let me know. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you for you guys who've been subscribing. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my bodyweight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/SeanB2B Fitness today.